So what if I told you that there is a simple retirement planning strategy that could reduce your lifetime tax bill, increase your ability to be generous, and give you more financial freedom and flexibility in retirement? Well, luckily, there is a strategy that does this. It is a Roth conversion. Many of you have probably heard of this strategy. It's popular amongst the financial planning, retirement planning community because it's such a powerful strategy. And if you're nearing retirement or already in it, this could be one of the most impactful moves you can make. So what is a Roth conversion? A Roth conversion is where you look to move money from a tax deferred account like a 401k or traditional IRA to a Roth IRA, an account that is going to grow tax free. So again, the difference between a traditional IRA and 401k compared to a Roth IRA is that your traditional IRA and 401k is when you are putting money into those accounts, you're getting that tax deferral at that time, but when you go to take that money out down the road, at that point that money is going to be taxed. As opposed to with a Roth IRA, you are putting money into a Roth IRA that has already been taxed and then giving that money the opportunity to grow tax free. When that money comes out down the road in retirement, it is coming out tax free. So the big difference between the two accounts is just choosing when you are going to be paying those taxes. And the key here, especially with considering if you should be doing Roth conversions and just with Roth conversions overall, is being intentional about when you are going to be paying those taxes. So why does this matter for you in retirement, especially being a Christian looking to steward your money well? Well, if retirement isn't just about comfort, sitting back on the beach with your drinks, even though that can definitely be a part of it, definitely want you to relax and enjoy all of your hard work. Retirement's really about, we just have that freedom now at that point to serve, to give, and to live intentionally. We don't have to work anymore. So 3 kingdom-driven benefits that come from the Roth conversion. 1, you're moving that money, like we said, from the traditional IRA to the Roth IRA. And so if you are needing to give bigger gifts down the road, you can give gifts from that Roth IRA without triggering a big tax event as opposed to if you were needing to take money from the traditional IRA to make a big gift. Again, earlier videos I have talked about doing qualified charitable distributions. So if you are later in life, in your 70s, then this would not be an issue. You could do those qualified charitable distributions. Link to that video will be in the description below if you want to check that out for more giving strategies. Another big reason why this matters, why Roth conversions can fit in your plan, is to help mitigate future required minimum distributions. So again, what are those required minimum distributions? That is when you have those qualified retirement accounts, your traditional IRA, your 401k, those tax deferred accounts where you got the tax deferral. Down the road, eventually the IRS and the government are saying, hey, we gave you that tax deferral, and that was nice of us, but eventually we want our cut of the pie as well. So at this time, the age is 73. Here soon that age will be 75, but when you reach those ages, the IRS requires you to start taking a required minimum distribution from those tax deferred accounts, whether you need that money or not, and then that money is going to be getting taxed. And then the calculation for those required minimum distributions are based on 1, how old you are, and then 2, the size of your account. So if that IRA or 401k is a large account, that is going to cause your required minimum distributions to be large as well. So doing those Roth conversions, we are effectively over time lowering the balance of that traditional IRA or 401k, increasing the balance of that Roth IRA. And since we are making that traditional IRA balance or 401k balance smaller, then those required minimum distributions are going to be smaller down the road as well. And that is what helps to make that tax burden smaller. Another reason Roth conversions matter for you as a person going into retirement or someone who's in retirement and wanting to be a good steward is because it's really not a matter of if you are going to have a big purchase at some point in retirement or a big expense come up. It's just really a matter of when Murphy's Law is coming for you. So if one of those big expenses comes up, you don't have money set aside in cash, or at least just enough money set aside in cash or in that Roth IRA, you're going to have to take that money from your traditional IRA or 401k, and if it's a big enough expense, that can really add up to a big tax bill in that year, and we want to avoid those big tax bills and having to eat unnecessarily at your nest egg. So having that money converted over into that Roth IRA, you have just another space, another flexible place to be able to take that money from without imposing a higher tax bill on yourself that year. And then another big piece here is with legacy planning. So if you are wanting to leave money to your children, then the converting that money from the IRA to the Roth IRA is actually a big help for them. Why is that? Well, this is because when you pass on an IRA or 401k to your children, they actually only have 10 years to spend down that whole account. So the government gives those heirs 10 years. They have to be taking the required minimum distributions if you already were, and then that money is being taxed to them. So if they're already in a high tax bracket, they're having to take that money out that is getting taxed, that's getting taxed at a high rate. Just not as much of your wealth is getting passed on to the kids to make an impact on their lives and your grandchildren and so on. So when that money is getting passed on in the Roth IRA, that money is going to go to them tax-free. They're going to be able to take that money out tax-free as well. That just opens up the door for more opportunities for your children and grandchildren and that wealth getting passed on. So we've been talking about these Roth conversions. I wanted to show you guys a little bit of an example so you can see what I am talking about. So here in this example, we have Joe and Jolene Schmo. Both are 59 years old. They're going to retire next year when they're 60. They've done a great job saving. They've got $1.5 million in an IRA. They've got another $50,000 in a Roth IRA, another $50,000 in cash in an emergency fund. So what we did here is we said, hey, Joe and Jolene Schmo, why don't we consider doing some Roth conversions to cut down the balance of that traditional IRA, get some of that money moved over into an account where you're going to have more flexibility, that Roth IRA, so that money is going to grow tax-free and allow you to have tax-free withdrawals. Just giving you, like I've said, more and more flexibility, which is so important in retirement. So we have them $6,000 retirement expense. It actually ends up being about $7,000 with some other factors we have thrown in here, and then we're looking at doing $40,000 of Roth conversions all the way up until age 74 before they're going to have to start taking those required minimum distributions at age 75. This $40,000 number, if we were working together, we would look to more so dial this number in. This is just for the sake of this example. And then, so if we take a look here, both examples here invested exactly the same way. But as you can see, with the proposed plan with doing the Roth conversions, here at first, that is this bottom line. You can see that it takes a dip here as those Roth conversions are coming out. That money is getting taxed, so this is showing that us paying those taxes from the account. If you have the cash or the cash flow to be able to pay those taxes without taking the money out of the account, that is for the better. So we would look to do that, but here in this example, we're just keeping things simple. So as you can see, over time, there is this crossover point after. In the current plan, you are having to start taking those required minimum distributions. Those required minimum distributions are larger because that IRA is larger without having done those Roth conversions. So we have this crossover point where the proposed plan where we're doing those Roth conversions actually starts to surpass the current plan with just the big IRA and that small Roth. So that is the power of the Roth conversion. In the short term, it doesn't necessarily play out better because you're taking that money, especially if you're taking the tax straight from that account. But if you wait it and then in the long term, typically you're going to look to end up better with doing those Roth conversions if it fits your situation, by being able to lower that IRA balance and then mitigate those required minimum distributions down the road. So in this example, by no means any sort of guarantee, but doing those Roth conversions gives Joe and Jolene Schmo an extra $1.4 million at their passing at age 90. Of course, that doesn't do them necessarily any good, but that is that much more money that is then able to be passed on to their kids, grandkids, charities, so forth. So, as you can see just from what we have walked through in this video, the example I just got to show you guys, Roth conversions aren't just simply a really good tax move and financial planning strategy. It is also a big strategy when it comes to being a good steward and allowing you to steward God's resources well that He's entrusted to you. Those Roth conversions, they help you to keep more, to be able to give more, and then just to be able to plan with peace down the road. It gives you flexibility. That's the word I love when it comes to planning for retirement. You just want to have as much flexibility as you can. So if you're looking to build a plan for your retirement that involves being wise, having good strategy with your tax planning, your investments, and pairing that with being a good steward, being able to be generous, using your wealth well, be happy to help. You guys can check out our website in the description below. And if you are wondering if you're in a good spot for retirement, take the time to take our short 2-minute quiz, and we'll be able to give you a personalized response just to help you see if you're on track or not for retirement.